What is going on, everybody? How you all doing out there? I hope this video is finding you well. Welcome or welcome back to Get Right On In. My name is Andrew, for those of you who do not know, and today I am just going to be doing the last 10 books book tag. I was recently tagged to do this video by Lezlie over at The Nerdy Narrative, so I thought I would just take a moment to usher a response, especially because I haven't been reading that much this year because my life has been a little bit crazy with all this moving around going on, but I still have managed to get some books out of me, so I thought I would do this tag. With all that now out of the way, without further ado, let's just get right on in. So the first question is, what was the last book you did not finish? And for me, that is going to be Interview with a Vampire. I talked about this in one of my wrap-up videos, I think it was maybe in March, but I did not like that book. I did not finish that book, and I was very excited about the fact that I did not finish that book. I'm not gonna finish this book! I made that decision. Yeah! Honestly, I am not really a big DNFer. I kind of feel bad for doing it, so I tried not to do it, but at the same time, I also agree with the idea of reading being a fun experience, so if you're not feeling the book, set it aside, and that's basically what just happened with me and Interview with a Vampire. The next question is, what was the last book you reread? And I am currently rereading The Drawing of the Three. I love the Dark Tower series. I have talked about it a couple of times on this channel, and I just recently released a video on the Dark Tower itself as well. I am now listening to all of these books on audio, which I'm super excited about because it definitely changes the feeling of the book a little bit in a good way. In general, until I joined BookTube, I actually was not really a big fan of audiobooks in the first place, but I have been getting more into them recently, and they really do add such a different element to the story, especially with things like, I mean, in The Gunslinger, that was my least favorite Dark Tower book, and it probably still is, but listening to it on the audiobook really changed the experience for me, so I'm excited to continue reading all of these Dark Tower books on audio, so that is what I am currently rereading as of now. The third question is going to be, what is the last book you bought? And that is going to be Perfume by Patrick Suskind. I'm not really sure all the way how to say this. I just listened to this book for the first time on audio during the Reindeer Games readathon back in December. I really enjoy it a lot, but I bought this book because I wanted to do a book-to-movie comparison on my channel for it. I have a couple of those out if you haven't seen any, so I'll link the playlist up there, but people seem to enjoy them. This is one that I've wanted to do for myself, so I've just got to get around to it. I've already got a couple of notes in here, but this is the last book that I bought, especially because I got it from a used bookstore called Blue Stocking Books here in San Diego. I have been hitting up all of the local little used bookstores that I can, and I love them all so much, but this is the most recent purchase. The fourth question makes no sense to me, and I'm totally gonna agree with Leslie's kind of like, what answer, but it is the last book that I said I read, but didn't. And I don't understand the point of that at all. I'm definitely with Lezlie. Who does that? I'm not sure. If you do that, I mean, let me know in the comments why, or like what the appeal would be to be like, I read this book when I didn't read this book. Like, just don't read the book, or just admit that you haven't read the book, or you know what I'm saying? Like, that doesn't make any sense to me whatsoever why that would happen, but I don't have an answer for this question because I don't think that there's ever a book that I have said that I have read and I haven't, unless we're going back to like high school or college or something like that, where it's like an assigned book that I maybe didn't read like I was supposed to, but even that, like, I can't remember what it would be, and even for that purpose, like, the only reason that would happen would be because it was an assigned book, so I don't know. I don't think that I've ever said that I have read something that I haven't, so I don't think that I have an answer for this. The fifth question is, what is the last book you wrote in the margins of? And I'm not really a big marker in my books. I don't really like it that much, but I don't have it actually on me. But the last book that I did write in, it was actually my Bible. I took highlights and I took little notes and passages from various sermons and church services that I've been throughout like my whole entire life. But now that I just have the Bible app on my phone, I mostly just use that because, yeah, I don't know. But yeah, the Bible is the last book that I made any notes in, because I don't usually write on my books, and I don't even like the fact that I have those notes in my Bible, which is maybe why I don't have it anymore, because I just feel like it looks distracting. But yeah, the Bible was the last book that I made some notes in the margins of. Number 6 is what is the last book you had signed, and again, I don't have it on me just because most of my books are in storage right now. For those of you who don't know, like, I have been jumping around and moving around a lot. This is my last day actually in this current unit that I am in San Diego before I move into a next one, so I will give all of my books back eventually. But the last one that I have signed, which is basically I think the only one that I have signed, especially like meeting face to face in person to get this signature, is Lamb by Christopher Moore. He came and spoke at a school when I was living in Monterey, and I went out to meet him with a friend, and I had just purchased Lamb because it was actually an assignment in class. We read a little chapter from that story because it was someone's project, and I thought it was funny, so I wanted to buy the book, and then it just so happened that he was in town, so I took it and got it signed from him. So Lamb by Christopher Moore is the last book that I have had signed, and I really think that it's still the only book that I've had signed as well. Number 7 is what is the last book that you lost, and honestly, back in the day, I lost my copy of The Never-Ending Story by Michael Ende. If you have been around with me at all, I talk about this book so much. I just purchased it again in December because I had lost it, and now I've read it twice again since I've purchased it, and I've currently left it at my parents' house, so at least I know where it is. It is not in storage. I left it there because my mom wanted to read it, but I did lose that book at some point, and I was really sad about it, so I really hope that I never lose it again. But yeah, that was the last book that I lost. Number 8 is what is the last book you had to replace, and that is going to be The Blade Itself by Joe Abercrombie. This was a book that I lent out and never got back, and it kind of, at this point, I'm happy that I have the entire collection, but I'm really irritated about what has happened, because this nice cover, which is like the original cover, I had all 3 of the original books in these original colors, but now the covers have changed, so I really wanted to buy this copy, this exact copy with this cover, except for this book is like this much shorter than the other ones now, and so now they're just not the same height, and I was like, I'm so angry at the one person that didn't give it back to me, because she totally ruined it all, and this is why I can't ever let people borrow books from me. But yes, I had to get another copy of The Blade Itself, so at least I could have the entire trilogy, even though they don't match, and it's fine. There will be a day, hopefully, where I get it sorted out. And question number 9 is what is the last book you got into an argument over? And I don't remember. I don't know. I don't really argue that much about books, but I don't remember a time getting like upset with someone for not liking a book or arguing about something that I like that they didn't. So I don't know, maybe it still is yet to happen, but as of right now I really don't remember the last time I argued about a book. I mostly just subscribe to the idea of like agreeing to disagree if we do that, which is funny because that's basically how my relationship with Lezlie is. Like, we like all the same books but like different things about the books. I don't know, so I don't have that many arguments, except for maybe I did argue with Lezlie a little bit over the Sword of Kaigen because I didn't really like that book that much, and I know that was kind of an unpopular opinion, so maybe that was it. Yeah, I would say Sword of Kaigen would be the last one, and it was more about people not attacking me but being like, you didn't like that book, and I'm just like, I mean, no. Sorry, I didn't. But I would try it again if I had the hard copy, but in general, no, I did not like that book, so I think that that was the last argument that I had. And the last question is what is a book you wish you could get a hold of? And at this current time, that answer is going to be The Patience of a Dead Man. The blessing and the curse, in my opinion, with independent authors and their books is that I can never find them at the library. And it's always like one of these things where I'm totally into the idea of purchasing and supporting and all of that, but I do not really like to read on my Kindle. I don't really connect with books that well when I do, which is part of the reason I don't think I like Sword of Kaigen. But with moving around the way that I'm doing and all these other things, it's also hard to purchase physical copies of books, so I wish that I had more access to certain self-published books like The Patience of a Dead Man so that I could read them whenever I had that opportunity. But as of right now, I really really would love to read that whole series just because I know Lezlie loves it. I just hung out with Sharon Dwyer in person the other day and it was so exciting.
Buddy!
Hooray, we're with Sharon. We were also discussing that series because she was talking about how good it was. I just watched TBR from Kate at the Literary Apothecary for June 2021 and she's gonna be reading that book for the Olympics readathon that we're doing, and I wish I could get my hands on it, but as of right now, that is my book for this choice. And that is going to take care of all of these tag questions, so thank you so much to Miss Lezlie for tagging me in this video to do it. I think maybe to tag a couple people on my own, I want to tag Johanna if she ever sees this, and I want to tag Evie from She Was Only Evie, even though I'm pretty sure Lezlie tagged you in the last one. I know she tagged Kate, so I'm not going to tag Kate. I can do Allie over at Kisty Reads. If the Codex Cantina boys haven't done this, then they totally should. Alan from Alexandria, I think Lezlie tagged him in it as well. Philip Chase, I think it would be cool to hear his answers on some of these. Johanna, because she's Johanna. And then I think I'll stop there. I usually don't tag people in these videos, so I'm excited that I just did. Ooh, it's like opening up a whole new world. But anyway, thank you all so much for being here today. I really appreciate all of your time. If you enjoyed this video, I would love it if you would consider giving it a little thumbs up, as well as potentially consider pressing on that little subscribe button to join me on Tuesdays and Thursdays and sometimes on Sundays for bookish and writerly and entertainment-y-esque content just like this. In the meantime, I hope you all have a day just as beautiful as you, and I will see you all in the next one. Bye!